Welcome, everybody, to the Rap Cave podcast. As always, I'm your host, Chris Platte, a.k.a. Platte Pods, episode 97?
Woo!
Right? 97 or 98?
97, yes.
97. I got a crew with me. You know them. All regulars in this building. We got Bryce flying in from somewhere nice.
I will be flying out of from DC next week. So
Next week? All right, but you're here for 100, right?
yeah, well, no, I'm actually going to be flying in and then coming from the airport next week.
Fair. I'll take that.
I'll come in with my luggage. So you guys
I'm talking about 100, though. This is only 97. You got some time. I'm talking like 3 weeks in advance. You're not flying nowhere? You're not doing nothing?
I'm not flying anywhere.
Put it in the calendar.
Yeah.
There will be some celebration. There will be libations.
There will be. Oh, that's St. Patty's weekend, isn't it? Or the weekend after?
Weekend after.
Oh, okay. Oh, Bryce will be back. All right. Let's fucking go. That's all I need to hear. Next to Bryce flying in from somewhere nice, I got Zay.
What's good, y'all? Yo, glad to be back. I hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day. How'd y'all do?
It was great. It was fun. I'm happy.
What y'all do? It was fun.
What did you do, bro?
I took her somewhere nice, and and then we had for lunch, and then we did a nice little dinner here.
You made or something?
Man, fuck y'all goddamn Valentine's Day, man. Come on, man. We're talking hip-hop.
Valentine's Day is a hip hop.
That man was long. That man was single on
Valentine's Day is
That
a
nigga
hip hop.
did shit.
I watched Game of Thrones all day. I didn't do
What you
shit.
say? You over there on yourself? You better not.
Yeah, that nigga ain't even doing shit.
I did.
He said, "Oh, I
So,
did."
I don't know what you talking about.
We got to my left. We got Braided Birdie in the building. Braided Birdie Double B, and then we got CB right next to Cowboy Brian, and then on the ones and twos we got Big AP. Zay, I'm gonna have to get you back, bro. I wasn't ready for that question. You set me up to get in trouble.
I just asked you a simple question. All you had to do was tell me what you did.
But I didn't do a lot.
That's on you.
That's on you.
That is on me. But we're past that. I thought we smoothed that over.
Why you bringing
talked
up
it.
old shit?
Yeah. Why you bringing up old shit?
You brought it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't say shit after that.
Exactly. Well, I wasn't gonna lie. She's right here. I was gonna be like, yeah, I took her around the world. We went somewhere
You
nice.
should have lied, bro. You should have lied. Didn't say right there.
Lie my ass off.
I mean, worst case scenario, you got your travel agent right here if you need me.
There you go.
I'm gonna need,
know he got
I'm
fly-
gonna need you.
He
I'm
got
gonna
fly
need you.
miles and shit.
Yeah, I gotta go somewhere remote, discreet. All right. We got a couple topics today, but before all that, did everybody see what you showed me before the pod? The 50 Cent Jim Jones shit, where 50 Cent bought the building where Jim Jones records at, and then changed the locks. And so Jim Jones, understandably frustrated, he couldn't get into the building that he records at, starts kicking the door down. And then 50 Cent posts the security footage of him kicking the door down. It says, "You're going to have to pay for this by Monday."
He said, pay up, Jimmy.
I think we can all say 50 Cent is enjoying his retirement.
To be fair, has either of them really needed to be in the studio anytime recently?
No, absolutely not. Although Jim Jones
Well,
is a
I'm about to say Jim Jones
podcaster.
do the podcast.
Yeah, it's a podcast. It's a
Probably gotta find a
podcast.
new spot.
I
Yeah.
maintain exactly what I just said. Do you really need to be in the booth recently?
Choosing violence already. All right.
What's worse, that or the Fat Joe and Jada pod?
Ooh, I watched Jim Jones first.
Nah,
Fat Joe a liar, but
Fat,
I watched.
yeah, that's why it's so entertaining. Just listen to Fat Joe lie. Like,
Yeah.
that shit's
I know,
pure
yeah.
comedy.
He's like LeBron. Really, Fat Joe and LeBron should have a podcast together.
Just talking about a whole bunch of shit that never happened.
Yeah, just lying the whole time.
Can we get Kevin?
Me and Biggie was about to do a whole album together.
Can we just give Kevin Durant a disguise and have him do a podcast? Because that would be the best.
Yeah.
At least you know that's the truth.
Yeah.
So, but back when I was kidding, I was going by just Joe, but then
Bro.
I
Fat
robbed
Joe.
like 70 people in my gym class.
I can't even think of I can't even like go through the Fat Joe Jada podcast without every third clip being that Fat Joe clip where he was like, I smacked some dude off in the bathroom, like, wha. Hit him with that fire. Hit him with that fire. Smack the cheeks off of him. And Jada's like, pause. And he's not even flinching in the story. And he's like, and then another dude came up, and I was like, why?
That's like up there with the ASAP Rocky. Low key, we slipping on semen.
Yeah. That's that, but like a minute straight of like Jadakiss trying to save him, and then he just keeps going, nah, I'm gonna keep telling the story.
Fat Joe be having them comic book stories. The,
Dude.
the pow and the
Yeah, he got sound effects.
Oh my god. I can't think of a clever way to transition it, but first topic on the docket. LaRussell comments on Lil Wayne. So there was a LaRussell clip. He had recently signed to Rock Nation. Shout out Rock Nation. And he was at this podcast. I don't even know what podcast it is. But he sat there and he talked about like artists that he loved and just his influence, and he brought up Wayne. And he mentioned that Wayne was somebody that he really loved, and he went through a moment where he ended up just kind of like resenting Wayne, or not resenting Wayne, but like just realizing that, oh, Wayne has never given substance. He's only just rapped. And then people cut it up. I watched the whole like 8-minute clip that LaRussell uploaded, because LaRussell then proceeded to crash out as somebody that's, you could tell he's now in a new spotlight under a new microscope that he's never been, because the way he reacted is like he's over explaining himself instead of just putting out one type of explanation and dealing with it and keeping it moving. He has spent like the last like week and a half just on like kind of an apology tour about it. But it was an interesting conversation, because it was like, you know,
Brought everyone out the
it brought everybody out the woodwork about Lil Wayne. And a lot of people have been feeling like Wayne has been kind of the last year or so, 2 years, been like, you know, the brunt of a lot of jokes. Like he's been the guy that's been like kind of targeted. So do you guys feel that this is just another example of Wayne being targeted? And do you care that you're one of your favorite rappers, shout out to Train, that's fucking going by, dude, they've been going nuts. But the second question is, does what LaRussell said about Lil Wayne, like, do you guys care if you're like one of your favorite artists like doesn't have a whole lot to say like in terms of substance? Because that became the discourse online.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting thing. First off, of course, LaRussell does this when he drops his first kind of like DSP freestyle. So, of course, gets hype people, trying to get people hyped for his new music dropping. But, I mean, I think the argument kind of fell flat to me, because there are introspective Lil Wayne tracks. I mean, you do have him talking about post, you know, Katrina, all this other stuff, talking about his family. He's picking the song that's meant to be popular. And I look into any genre of music. I'm sorry, but if he's going to call out, you know, like talking about Amelia or whatever and saying like we popping like over Redenbacher, fine. What is Bohemian Rhapsody? I saw a little, like all that type of shit. That's another genre, but that's still a popular song. You can go to any genre. There's going to be songs that are meant to be fun. There are going to be songs that are meant to be introspective that probably aren't going to be the singles. It's like the most surface level thing. It kind of reminds me of when people talk about hip hop music in general and they're just like, oh yeah, they aren't really saying anything. They're just rhyming. Well, first off, the first commercial hip hop song is a hip hop hippie to hip hop. So what are we talking about here? Everybody's going to have their introspective songs. Everyone's going to have their party songs that are going to get radio play. I think it was just kind of like a brandish overall of him saying, like calling it, what do you call it? Just like no calorie music or whatever he said on the thing. I think it's just a very bad generalization, and him just trying to feed into the I think he's more so just trying to feed into the controversy to get some buzz around him. Because would we be talking about LaRussell right now had this not happened? Would we be talking about his single right now had that not happened?
No, I can't call it that. I can't call it like stirring up controversy intentionally because he's been on like a 10-day apology tour about it. So like I think it was an unintentional thing. Like I think it was something that LaRussell just was speaking his opinion, and it got clipped by the internet. And he's somebody that has existed well, done well. He's been a very successful artist independently, but now is in a position where he's getting exposed to a new audience, to a new demographic, to a new bunch of people that don't know him. And so for that to be chopped up that way just painted him in kind of a bad light.
I mean,
That's
if
all I
that's the
think it
case,
is.
then you're part of Rock Nation. You're talking about one of the most powerful like machines in the music industry. They're going to tell you how to move and how to operate. So you're telling me he didn't have anybody who said, hey, yo, if you're going to go on a podcast or do this, understand that everything that you're doing is under a different microscope?
Maybe that's a lesson he's got to learn. Maybe he needs PR training.
Well, that's what the market's supposed to do. That's what Rock Nation is supposed to do. So unless they just let him languish there, now he's on this apology tour probably because the reps in the record label are like, hey, yo, everything you do is on a different scale. It's like you see all these people in college, and then when they go to the draft, they got to go through this whole PR training. In sports, they got to go through and clean up their Twitter history and all that, because then you get like Mitch Kissing Titties Trubisky, people finding their old tweets and stuff, because that's one of the things. Now, all these draft picks, when they go to the league, they have these teams, their agents, they go through and they clean up all that social media stuff. They go through and clean that out. Everything you do is amplified on the stage when you actually have some buzz.
How old is LaRussell?
He's like 30 or 30. Like he's like, he's
Yeah, he's like probably
Because that was like that's kind of like a 2000s baby comment for real. Like really think, because like everything like from Lil Wayne, like Carter 2 prior to that is like more substance based than anything. Then like when he got on his Carter 3 era, that's when he like started making more fun music about just saying anything, just rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if you was listening to Lil Wayne, Carter 1, 2, 500 Degrees, Block Is Hot, like you would know like Wayne got substance. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
not really.
And I think that
LaRussell's 31.
I think there's a
There you
thing
go.
too of, because obviously, if he had the gall to say that, I would assume that he considers himself like a Wayne fan or whatever, or like listen to him a lot. But Wayne has such a large body of work that it's like, to say that there's no substance in any of it is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because you just physically can't have that much music and not
I think
have
he
substance to
was
it.
again, I think he was just speaking general, because I think that if you're speaking general, you can apply that to Wayne. Now, obviously, we here will have nuanced discussions about like why that's wrong. You got records like Georgia Bush. You got all of these records that have like substance in Wayne's catalog. Don't get me wrong, but if you're just overgeneralizing Wayne's catalog and his music, yeah, it is a lot of just punchy commercial pop rap, and there's nothing wrong with that. Wayne is one of my favorite artists ever, but so I understand fully what he was saying. It literally just got chopped up wrong because I watched the whole 8-minute clip that he uploaded, and that's all he had to do. But again, him being new to this environment took it the extra mile. He started, engaging with everybody on Twitter, and we'll get to that. We got another topic that gets to engagement on Twitter, and that's where he kind of went wrong, in my opinion, because everything LaRussell said is like going back to my take about balance that I've said several times over. Like, you need balance in hip-hop because hip-hop is not just one dimension or one facet. It comes from black culture. Black culture is not like one facet or one dimension. So it's something
Please explain a little bit more about black culture to us in February.
Let me tell you about it. I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked.
I must
Yeah.
say,
Everybody in the room got silent, looking right at you like.
you might want to hand the baton to Bryce.
I
No, please continue.
yeah.
Go on.
And another thing.
Yeah. So thing about but no, what I'm saying is
we all just look this way.
Everybody just stared at
stop acting like I said something crazy. All I said was that black culture is not one singular thing. That's all I said. Does anybody disagree with that statement? Am I wrong there?
We can move on.
Now he's nervous.
No.
He about to react. He know he gonna cry in the
Guys,
comments.
hot in here is just
Yeah. Yeah. Open a window, please.
that apology tour gonna be crazy.
But
yeah. It turns out you need an apology. Just talking shit.
yeah. But anyways, I say that to say that hip hop has always needed balance. Like it's why you look at the history of hip hop. It's always had people who make commercially successful music and people that make like lyrically dense substantive music. Substantive, right? Is that what substantive? Yeah. Shout out to you. But that's what you were talking about earlier. And that to me we have decades upon decades of evidence of trash conscious rappers, not trash conscious rappers, but conscious rappers having trash attempts at making a commercial record. And we have the other version of that. We have trash attempts of commercial artists trying to make socially conscious music. Like we've had that, because the truth is that you need both perspectives. Both perspectives fill a lane, and again, things are not one dimensional here. Things are not as simplified as just as that. So it comes down to what LaRussell's saying is like, I don't have any problem with one of my favorite artists, quote unquote, if I'm overgeneralizing, not having a lot of substance regularly. Because again, we all know that Wayne has substance regularly, or Wayne has substance, but if we're overgeneralizing it, regularly he doesn't have a lot of substance. Just like I would throw Eminem in that class. That's another rapper that has socially conscious records, but also has a lot of times where he's just saying a whole bunch of wild shit that doesn't mean anything. It's just rapping. It's just performance. It's just showcasing their lyrical genius. And I'm okay with that, because I have artists like that. And then I have socially conscious artists too that I go to for those opposite perspectives. Like, to me, I don't care. Like, let's not all of a sudden just try to rewrite Lil Wayne's history and criticize and condemn him and act like he just never said nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm not about to do.
Yeah.
I'm not about to sit here and just fucking condemn Lil Wayne as like, how dare you not say anything ever, like, because one, he has said shit, and two, it's also like there's a lot of artists doing a lot of different things.
And the thing I hate the most about this is the fact that it seems like hip hop is the only genre of music that has to deal with this level of criticism. Because I'm sorry, you go through mainstream rock, it's a lot of the same thing. Country, what's the no, not political, but that people making fun of that Turning Point thing where the guy said catch his fish, but there's the comedian who's like, sounds like he said, I just want to kiss my fish. It's like this. People make fun of country being the same topics: fishing, trucks, all that stuff. And there's depth to it. Rock music has depth, is difference. All these genres have these different things, but it seems like hip hop is the only one that gets condemned for being non-substantive. When back in when Lil Wayne was out, I was listening to Lil Wayne, Little Brother, and the Yin Yang Twins. Very different types of music, very different styles, but I can enjoy them all.
The reason why that happens though too is because hip hop is still the baby. We're talking about the different genres. Hip hop is the new one. It's the one that everyone's judging. It's the one people are going to look at. And I got to agree with Birdie's take on this. Wayne did say a bunch of shit early on in his career, to ignore the shit he said early on and then start looking at him as once he already became established and then started making music to be more pop hits that didn't have to be full of substance for him to get by. I mean, I
gotta disagree with you on one thing. I think rap, the reason why rap is a little bit more aggressive is because it's more competitive. I think that's mainly the reason why. Because rap is so competitive. It's a sport. It's on a whole other level of any other
I think
genre.
that plays into it.
Like everybody wants to be the best rapper.
Yeah, they're playing into it too. I feel like in any genre though, you want to be the best at what you do. But I think that's like when it comes to like rap, like realism and like lyrics is like a very big thing in comparison to like other genres. You know what I'm saying? Like people really want to know like either about your story, you know, if your story real or not, or you know what I'm saying. Just
We're not
anything
trying to
about you
check
in
country
comparison-
artists.
Yeah, in comparison to like pop artists and shit. Like we just like, you know, pop artists, they fans mainly just ready for the next track. Like what's the next vibe that's gonna, you feel me, make me move. So I think it's just us being so reality based, it just make it tougher to it just make it more judgmental based. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, more room to judge.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying is that there's so much like space in here. So I don't like the idea of watering it down to, you know, like every artist has to check this and that box. Like no, like every artist can have their own hit. I mean, hip hop samples a lot of genres. Like that's why I think hip hop is the greatest genre in the world. One, because I love the lyricism of it, but two, it's because of the fact that it is a sample based genre. And so in theory, in reality, and we're seeing it now, it can stretch across all spans of music. You have country rappers. That's a thing. Not my thing, but that is a thing. You have jazz rappers. You have like literally you have people in every single pocket doing that. So to me, I like I'm not sitting here saying that every artist has to check like every single box. And also too, let's look at some of our favorite rappers. Some of our favorite rappers that are conscious, say like a J. Cole. Like are J. Cole's pop records are the ones that charted well, are the ones that performed commercially well, are those the most substantive?
He's
right?
talking about having
J.
a
Cole
boner
tracks.
when he was
Boner
in
in
middle
math
school.
class,
Yeah.
Like are those the most substance enriched tracks of his career? No, they're not. Like that's what I'm saying. So people cross like all different paths. And
So real quick, what you're saying is, like Black history and Black people, there's a diversity in hip hop.
And I think that should be celebrated, respected, admired.
Well, yeah, it's
Thank
just
you. Thank you
also-
for your service.
It's also just
You're welcome.
Easy for. I mean, this applies to a lot of things. This applies to politics. It applies to a lot of things. Like humans naturally want to generalize things because it makes it easier to understand. Because they don't. When there's no ambiguity, then they don't have to think about it, and they could just say, "Oh, all of this is one thing, and that's what it is, and there's nothing different there." It's like they want to make everything black and white, but sometimes should be Hispanic for real. Like.
Mexicans are okay.
Mexicans are okay, and that, all right.
Mexicans are okay. I just want to go out there on a limb.
Mexicans are okay.
Say you're all right with me. That's crazy.
Bienvenido al Rap Cave Podcast.
Just
All right.
All
Bad Bunny was 2 weeks ago. We're off of that.
Just wait for their month.
Yeah. The other person on Twitter that got into some backlash, my guy, CyHi the Prince,
Who
one of my
also
most
released a new song
anticipated.
today.
Which fucking thank God, dude. Like, CyHi the Prince, I love you. Before we get into the subject, you have absolutely no motion out there. You dropped a great album 7-8 years ago. it was, and you haven't done shit since. You put out a little EP that was cool, but you have not made a lot of noise. So you finally got a lot of controversy. Drop a song. And it took him like a week and a half after this controversy started to realize, oh, I should probably drop a song while everybody's talking about me. Yes, drop a fucking song, CyHi. Let the people know. And drop the damn album. Fucking love you. But anyways.
The greatest rapper that only exists in our consciousness, but not actually in lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's got the Quentin Miller treatment.
he does have the Quentin Miller treatment. Matter of fact, speaking of, I got my phone. Where did I put that? Because I pulled up, right here. I pulled up the tweet. So I can read it verbatim. So this is a tweet that got everybody upset. So keep in mind this was February 11th. So this was about, as we're recording, a week and a half ago. Because we tabled this discussion because I needed Birdie, and I hope that Jalen would be here for this perspective. But we talked about this. CyHi said, I grew up in an era where your lyricists were from the streets. Now it's a bunch of straight-A students who dropped out of college their sophomore year to be rappers. You can tell that they don't have any life experiences. They're just good with words. So, clearly has been interpreted by hip-hop Twitter as an attack on the theater rappers, the theater kids in hip-hop. Birdie, how would you like to defend the theater kids in hip-hop?
I feel like this is a question.
Would you like to speak on behalf of the theater kids?
That's wild the way that you put that.
This is just like when Benny the Butcher was like, oh yeah, a bunch of fucking all these nerds out here listening to hip hop and shit. It's like, Benny the Butcher, you might want to look in the mirror because that's your entire fan base.
Yeah,
he was.
Your fan base.
I'm surprised how you don't know that. Like, how you don't know your fan base? Because that was like clear as day.
Yeah. But no, do you? Okay, the real question. Let's be serious. The real question is, do you? How do you interpret that? Because I feel like we've on this platform had this kind of conversation before. But how do you interpret what he's saying, and do you think there is this divide or this kind of quote unquote like issue going on right now?
To me, it sounds like he doesn't really respect, like, would that be considered like backpack rap? That's kind of like
it came out 5 days after J. Cole's album. I'm just saying.
it kind of feel like that's what he like trying to say, like, because you look at like the artists he named, like these are like street niggas. Like, it's like his taste in music is more like people who came up from rags to riches type, you know what I'm saying, story. He don't really like anybody that can just put words together and make it sound good, which I ain't mad at that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
but do you
believability is a big thing in hip hop. Like I was just saying, like, so yeah, if you is like the college, I don't know, cause like if you as a college student that's just putting words together and making it sound good, it's like, I mean, depending on what you're talking about, it's like it'll fly with me, you know what I'm saying, as long as you're talking about the right things, but.
Do you think that like street lyricism, like those terms, do you think that or that phrasing or labeling of an artist, do you think that is, do you kind of agree with his statement that is kind of non-existent right now, that it is just when you look at the people that are quote unquote deemed lyricists, that it is the people that are doing the, you know, just rhyming a bunch of words and this and that? Like, is that something that you share that sentiment?
100%, because the street niggas we got rapping nowadays is fucking retarded, and they ain't really saying
I did
too
not
much.
expect that.
Well,
So
no, yeah, I did.
there ain't really no street lyricism going on
And the
anymore. It's
type
more
of-
like
You asked for that.
street drill rappers,
for that.
and then there's lyricists. You know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't really like a combination of the two anymore. But one thing I did like that Sauce Walker said the other day, and like I kind of ain't really think about it like King Von was probably like one of the last of them for real, like, cause he was crazy with the storytelling and he was like one of those, you know what I'm saying? So maybe G Herbo, he ain't really, I don't know. I guess you could say G Herbo. It ain't really a lot. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
so.
it's hard, and it is hard to say what he means because CyHi is also an older guy at this point. I mean, not like super old, but like when he's talking about street lyricism, is he talk about like Kangol hats and shit like that fucking Drewski skit? Like
You and the Kangol hats.
I'm smoking halitosis. You smoking multiple sclerosis or whatever. Like like that shit. I don't know, bro. Like I don't. That's what I don't know if he's referring to that or like, current day street shit.
I think that's what he's referring to. I think he's looking at the landscape and he's looking at the poppin' artists that are praised for their lyrical substance. And again, there's varying degrees of this, but J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Doechii, like these artists that have like a lot of people's attention right now, that are like those are deemed like lyrical rappers or substantive. That should be the word of the day because I can't say it once. But rappers with substance, like that is like the group that they're kind of that I think he's kind of attacking, and I forget who he is. So I wish I could shout him out right now, but I did watch a video of it. It was excellent. I put it in the group chat. This was months ago. He had a breakdown on how quote unquote theater rap is running hip hop right now. Like you look at the biggest artists in hip hop right now, they are for the most part they are very theatrical. They are performative. They aren't necessarily street identified rappers. And so what CyHi is saying is completely fair, completely valid. I just look at it different because like I'm somebody that is really entrenched in everything hip hop, so I'm not tripping about popularity. I'm not looking at these artists through the lens of like popularity to justify how good or how bad they are. Like I am the person that's throwing in our group chat every single week all of the drops, and I'm listening to all of the drops. And so I'm listening to, the street rappers that maybe aren't commercially successful. And it's not like the 2000s where you have the Jeezys, the 50 Cents, like you have like a lot of street rappers that are commercially successful. This isn't that era anymore. However, I will say that those rappers are existing, and you mentioned one, a la Benny Butcher, that does have a strong following. And you can mention a whole bunch of street rappers. You can mention a bunch of Detroit rappers that all have their pockets and that are doing their thing and being successful. And so I've never cared how much my favorite artists are getting played on the radio. I've only just cared about the art that they put out and the music that they put out. So I'm not tripping about it. But I will also say in the same token that fashion, film, music, everything is cyclical. So the era we're in now, there's going to be an appetite. And CyHi the Prince is representing that. There is an appetite. There is a hunger for street lyricism. That's why I think Lil Baby was so anointed so quickly, right? Remember when Lil Baby was supposed to be the chosen one? Roddy Ricch. Like it just like it showed me that there is an overwhelming appetite, an overwhelming hunger for a street lyricist to exist in hip hop, because that is one of the core like principles of hip hop. That is one of the like you look at some of the all-time greats, and a good portion of them are what you would call street lyricist rappers. So to me, I think that's something that's going to come around, that's dying to come around. It's just got to be that artist that finds how to do it the right way in 2026 and forward. But so I'm not tripping about it, but I agree with that. I agree with what CyHi is saying. I'm not devaluing what these other artists are going through, because life is all about perspective at the end of the day. So like what can feel heavy to you can feel like nothing to me, and what can feel like the world to me can feel like nothing to you. Like that's just the way life is. So I'm not tripping about like them saying that they don't have nothing. They have something to say. It might mean the world to them, but it might not connect with you. So I'm not trying to play king middle ground here, but I agree with him. But at the same time, I'm not tripping because I know I can find what he is looking for. You can find, just not on a commercially successful level. And at the same time, everything's cyclical, man. It's going to come back. Mark my words. There's going to be another renaissance of street lyricism happening in hip-hop. And I think it's probably sooner rather than later.
I think we just reached the point where now hip-hop is evolving so much, it's starting to split into different type of variables of itself. Like we get into that modern, traditional, and alternative versions of rap. So I think that's kind of how we are, like where we're getting to at this point in hip hop, because we it's getting up there. We've been around for a long time now. So I think now we gotta start having to put hip hop in not different categories, but like different.
It's been around.
types.
It's been around the same amount of time as metal, and they love fucking having 18,000 subgenres for that bullshit too.
Yep.
So
Which metal really is just a derivative of the rock getting, splintering off. Like metal basically formed itself from rock and created its own thing. And like you were talking about, it's a whole different genre. It's just like we have these different splits where hip hop is just, like you were talking about earlier, just young enough
It
where
is young.
Do you think
everything is
that
boxed in the same category.
Do you think that subgenres are bad for a genre?
No,
as a
because I
whole?
think right now we're talking about, one thing I was going to bring up is the fact that this is a different era. You know, the one thing about that time when you're talking about the Jeezus and everything else, the only way for you to hear music was to hear it on the radio or to buy the CD. Now you have at the click of a finger every song damn near. I mean, we just got Jay-Z re-releasing like Reasonable Doubt on streaming services this week.
I know you saw that. You think an album's coming? You think an album's coming? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think that name change was? You think that was just nothing, or you think that was something?
Did you see the name change already?
Yeah.
What was the name of it?
Jay-Z changed his name on Apple Music and then re-released Dead President.
The thing over the wire
Yeah.
and shit.
And then he also dropped Dead Presidency originally.
Wasn't that like his original name,
Yeah.
supposedly?
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
You heard it here first. Bernie said Jay-Z is stupid.
I'm not going to take the bait on that one. But going back, though, the fact is we're in a different era where now streaming means so much. You can find what you need, what you want. You don't have to pigeonhole yourself to certain genres. You don't have to fight as hard to find things that are similar. Spotify, Apple is going to recommend similar stuff to what you're already trying to listen to. So if you want to hear the street shit, you're going to hear the street shit. If you want to hear the pop shit, you're going to hear the pop shit. And then, again, I know you guys kind of semi-agree with CyHi. I'm not a fan of his takes. Like, the first tweet on that whole thing is him saying, like, is no creativity or there's too much creativity. Well, which one is it, dude? Are you either not happy?
Brother, I feel him on that, dog. Some motherfuckers be doing too much, and some motherfuckers just don't do enough. Like,
But
you
that's
gotta find that balance.
Yeah, but that's individual. I don't think that's I don't want to paint the genre like and whole like that.
Oh,
and
yeah, no, for sure.
And the one thing I
the
will
fact
say,
that they both exist says in itself that
Yeah.
it's not always.
There's probably a middle ground.
yeah, I think it's more so on you than anything else. And also, if I want to have my hot take, and I know this is not the right probably place to say this because we're on a podcast, but maybe not every single hip hop person need to have his takes out there 100% of the time. But that's the rise of social media. We now know what every single thought that goes through everyone's head. It's not like back in the day when you had the Vibe interviews to hear from CyHi, so he had to formulate it, think about what his response is. Now we're just hearing his thoughts all the time. So CyHi, if you don't like, I think that your tweets either have too much creativity or too similar. That's how I feel. So however you feel about the genre is how I feel about your comments.
So, what I want to ask is, what I said about like kind of like everything being cyclical. Like, are you guys with me that one, there is a lack of, from a commercially prominent standpoint, street lyricism And if you feel that that is the case, do you think that that is something cyclical that will like kind of turn around and change in the coming however many, you don't have to predict how many years, but do you think that that's something that will change and come back, or is this just where hip hop is now and where it will go?
I think we're in the midst of it's an interesting thing because you look at, I'm one of the few people who still looks at the Billboard Hot 100 every week to see kind of what's on there. And hip hop is not fully represented on what the culture's saying on Billboard because it's not the same thing as radio play, because radio play doesn't mean as much right now. I think it's a genre evolution. I think it's a music evolution. At the same time that CyHi is talking about all these other people out there, was also the rise. Those songs weren't number one songs. You know what was? Laffy Taffy, D4L, them Franchise Boy. It was the time of ringtone rap. So when he's coming up, while we did have some of those street like people, and we had Jeezy getting his rise and stuff later, that was a follow up and an answer to the rise of ringtone rap and party rap, really heavy. And so I do agree with you. It is cyclical. I do think we're going to see another rise, and that's just kind of how the genre works. You see, and it kind of coincides with tragedy. There's usually a time for fun, and then there's too much fun, and people start to get serious again. I think that's kind of how we noticed that amongst all genres. You saw that after 9/11 where people got super patriotic, and then we're like, okay, we want to have fun again. And then people started getting more lyrical, and that's kind of what we saw in hip-hop. Right now, hip-hop in general, again, not trying to get political, with everything going on economically, everything going on with politics and Trump, I think you're seeing that same thing where people are trying to have some fun after watching the news all the time, and then you're going to start to see it trying to transition. I think that's just how it works.
I actually disagree. I think hip-hop's in a state right now where they're pushing the lyricism and that more than they are pushing. Like, I look at the platforms that are covering hip-hop right now, and they are aligning themselves with the anti-party, anti-propaganda, like aligning themselves with the socially conscious music rather than the party music that has been topping the charts and has been kind of like the main pulse of hip hop for the last couple years.
Well, I think if you're going to say that, then you have to say what's the metric then? Because on Billboard, that's not the case.
I mean, I'm never looking to Billboard
Billboard
to justify that.
I ain't gonna reflect the culture, cause like these fucking media pages and all this shit, like these ran by like old white people that don't nobody even be knowing for real, and they just have a certain bias to what they like or whatever. But like, I feel like when it comes to more Billboard based, that's like actually like what the culture is listening to and what people is actually like feeling nowadays. And I still think that ratchet rap runs the culture, tricking music runs the culture, like all that everything that got a negative tone to it damn near runs the culture, you know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the thing. I think that's what makes it hard to kind of like define what CyHi is talking about in his criticism, because what's the metric we're using to define?
But is because like when Chris say
Good
street
question.
lyricism, is that what CyHi is talking about? Because it's still not a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to actual like meaningful lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers ain't talking about losing 92 bricks no more. Like they're looking for a motherfucking hat. You know
It's now again. I know this
and
is
I think another reason too is because like gangster rap shifted from hustling music to murder music
and the drug using music.
I feel like drug music. Well,
Drug using.
Drug using. You're right.
Yeah, like as opposed to like again, it went from I sell you the drugs to I'm fucked up off of drugs, and like that shift right there is kind of is.
I think what
I don't think that though.
I think what's going on right now is that is like, for years now the black community has been just really taking a hit, man. And then I think we was like right around the 90s, stuff like that, when hip hop was going on, well, actually 80s when hip hop was starting up, it was like struggle music. It was like back. That's what he talking about. He want that struggle music. But now we've lived that struggle. Now hip hop.
But hip hop didn't start as struggle music. Hip hop started as party music.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, like struggle music is like.
Well, it was always talking about hustling though. That's that hustling struggle music.
Well, not till NWA.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, but even back then too, because it's like, I mean, Wu-Tang, like, there was struggle music in there too, but they just had a bunch of fucking kung fu shit going on too. So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you guys, again,
they've all existed together.
The first popular hip hop song was Rapper's Delight. Hip hop started as a genre being mixed in parties on turntables. It started literally as a party genre.
I guess hip hop just changed when because every time when hip hop go to party, that's when everything good, and then once everything is start to be like struggle, that's when everything in the world is going bad. So like hip hop just follow the way of the world and how everything is going.
All right. I mean, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that hip hop is, of all genres, I think that is one that reflects the state of the world. I think every genre does to an extent, but at this, like, I mean, you look at even pop music, like what they're singing about is different than what they were singing about 50, 60 years ago. So I think that is a general statement, but at the same time, I feel like it applies the most to hip hop because it is so lyrically.
And kind of one thing to wrap up the thing about, like, I know it's kind of a moot point, but the Billboard thing, I'm looking at the Billboard Top 100. Outside of J. Cole, who obviously just filtered him because he dropped the album, and Dom Toliver, the next hip-hop song is number 50 with T.I.'s Let 'Em Know. That is the only non-J. Cole, Dom Toliver hip-hop song in the top 50 of the Billboard Hot 100.
I think listen, man, I think that it's going to end up being something where, like, again, it's gonna cycle through. And again, I'm not tripping because I know that as somebody that is a super hip hop fan, which I imagine that CyHi the Prince is also a super hip hop fan, is able to find what he wants, right? Like, and I don't need it to be judged by streams, judged by plays. Like, that's not how I view an artist's value. Now, I would like certain things certain artists that I believe have like a great message. I would love for that to be the most popular music in the world. Sure, whatever. But ultimately, I don't care. I don't care, man. Like, everybody, like, I like the music that I like. Hip hop is more diverse than it's ever been. You have everything from, the new age stuff to the unks making music, which we're going to get to. And matter of fact, let's get to that. This week, there wasn't a lot of drops. Everybody got out the way for Baby Keem. No, Baby Keem dropped in a perfect week where he was really the only kind of highlight to talk about. A couple people dropped some singles, but the biggest drop of the week was Baby Keem. That was something that we spent talking about last pod ad nauseum, the idea of superstardom, and you were very high on it, Bryce, and you weren't here, Birdie, so I'm very curious because I listened to this several times, and when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, this is going to be very, very divisive. I think our opinions are going to be wide-ranging on this. Coming after the Cole album where we all kind of sat and were like, yeah, that was dope. I think we're back to our divisive ways on this panel. I do not think that we are going to have a lot of agreements when it comes to the Baby Keem album. But, gentlemen, I'll give you all the floor before I speak on it. How did you feel about Baby Keem's new album, Casino? Couple hours in. How are we feeling about it? Immediate reactions.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Anybody else think it was expect more from it. Like not more, but like a few more songs on there.
37 minutes is so short.
Yeah, bro. When I was
After
just-
5
I was-
years,
I was like, damn, that's it. It was cool, but I feel like it was short.
I mean, but it's because we live in an era where you expect 15, 20 songs on an album. It's like 12 is a respectable number, I think.
I
Right,
like
but
the
does-
37-minute
Like,
runtime is a little short, but if those songs, 12
But-
songs acceptable at a.
I
but,
like the
but
amount.
when you add in the 5 years, do you as we're all, or okay, let me not speak for everybody, but if you're a Baby Keem fan, like, are you happy with waiting 5 years for 37 minutes of music?
I mean, I think it's.
I'm cool
I
with it.
wasn't really.
I was cool with it, but
upset with
I
the
did
length.
want like maybe like 1 or 2 more songs.
Apparently, there is one on the vinyl. If you buy the vinyl,
Yeah.
there's some
Maybe
Tubi,
you got
I think it
deluxe-
is.
a deluxe
Yeah,
version
yeah,
coming out or something.
yeah, maybe.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. I know you and I were talking about it on the way up here, but I've talked about this at the panel before. I am very okay with if you don't have anything to say, you don't have to put something out. I'm more upset with people who expand their albums too far or feel like they have to drop every year when you aren't saying anything different. I know 5 years is a long time, but one thing about it too, and one thing I can admit, we filmed this on Friday. So new music drops at 12 o'clock on Friday. It's 11 o'clock right now, Friday night. The one thing about this album that I could say honestly that I enjoyed was I was able to get through it a couple times. I'm not normally, I got, all of us have lives and everything. During the day, it's hard for me to get through most albums one time. I was able to sit through this album a couple times, really dive into it early and kind of chart my course and really have some opinions on it versus J. Cole's album. I wasn't here that first week, obviously it dropped. By the time you guys were filming, I was only able to get through it one time because it was so damn long.
Shit, 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even, I hadn't even pieced together all the different nuance of it yet. So I do like it because I can get through it. I can digest it. I can go back and I don't feel like I'm putting myself behind by saying, I want to repeat this song or dive into this line again. It's something that back before when, the CD days and everything, like, oh yeah, let's hit that track again. I feel like you could do it. I do think hip hop is a little bit bloated now in certain albums, and I did like the length of the album in terms of I'm okay waiting that time to get something I enjoyed.
Yeah. Though you brought up a good point too, because it did give you a chance to actually like digest the song, at least. I mean, digest the album like at least a few times, just to
Yeah.
kind of really see how you feel about it.
Yeah, and it wasn't like. I think this. He obviously over 5 years he made more. I'm sure that a lot got chopped down, but if he chopped out the fluff for this to be, I mean, I think that to say the least, it's 12 substantial songs. It's a packed body of work, and that's what I like. That I'm more satisfied with that than if we got 3. I guarantee 3-4 more songs probably wouldn't have made much of a difference, if not maybe hurt the overall product as it is. So I don't know. I think it's fine. I think that's what that's just it. We're so used to these long ass fucking drawn out albums, and it's like you can tell that like these are the best songs that he had off of it, and he chose to go this way. And I think that it pays off in the long run. I think that created a more well-rounded product at the end of the day.
Yeah, I give it a B plus.
Okay.
I
Where you
feel
at
like
with
with this album, he showed like he's a good solo artist. Because at first I felt like he was like better on features than anything, but he can put together a good project for sure. I give it a 7.5 out of 10 personally.
Okay. So C plus. Where you at with it, Cowboy Brian?
I'm gonna definitely have to give it a B, man. Like I listened to it. One of the things that I enjoyed, we talked about it in the car. Man, he almost sounds completely different on damn near every track. To the inflections in his voice, just listening to. Man, it was crazy. Like you pointed it out. At one point, I'm like, is that 3 stacks on the track?
Yeah, there's that one specifically one
Dude.
song that sounds
Man,
a lot
I thought
like
it was
The Andre parallels are insane with this. The Andre, the Kendrick parallels.
Cole sounded like Future. Fucking Baby Keem sounded like 3 Stacks.
Man,
I didn't know what was going on.
Upside down right
He
now.
wears his influences on his sleeve very well.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was a great product.
Mm-hmm.
It did make me want a couple more songs from him, but I can also see how that could have gone bad too, because the product itself was great.
And
I think leaving me wanting more is a good way to
that's a good thing, I think. Yeah.
to leave an album.
I hear you, but look.
And, I just wanted to add right before you take the stage is I also one thing that we got on this that we haven't really got from Keem before is like pretty like he really did his thing with like storytelling and like really trying to paint a picture and like kind of be like he peeled back the curtain a lot, which I think is really cool for an artist like Keem where you haven't really heard that before, and a lot of the time, if you don't hear it up front, then you're probably not going to. Right. And so it's cool that we were able to see Keem peel, and I think he did a good job of portraying that. Like, these stories about shit with his mom and his aunt and his uncle and these girls. He got this girl pregnant or whatever. Or the girl he was in love with got pregnant by someone else or whatever. So it's like the fact that we're getting this out of an artist like Keem, I think also shows that like. Yeah, I mean, it's like, again, it's kind of similar to what we were talking about is like the substance is still always going to be there one way or another,
Yeah, I'd be pissed too if I had a crackhead uncle that stole my Xbox. I'm just saying, like, I would be pissed as fuck. I would be pissed as fuck. But no, I can't believe I'm on an island here. This was cool, but it doesn't justify no damn 5 years. It doesn't justify no damn wait. Like, look, again, this album was clearly super personal. He did that. And I don't want to do the lazy Kendrick comparison of, like, this is his kind of Mr. Morale. But it is. Like, it's the first time he really peels back the curtain. He really peels back the curtain in terms of, like, letting you into who he is as a person. The 5-year wait that he even mentioned, just like Kendrick did on his record, about how I went years uninspired. I went years not able to make music when he talked about the COVID vaccine, which put hip hop Twitter in a frenzy, being anti-vax. But it was a cool album. It had some cool songs. He drastically changed his voice. He went from, again, 20 to 21 when he was making his last album to 25, 26 when he's making this album. That's a substantial shift in life. And so I'm not mad at the fact that he did this, because in the grand scheme of the Baby Keem discography, at some point you were going to have to tell us who the fuck you are and how you got here. So I'm not mad at it, but that coming off of the 5-year wait, that album not having a lot of songs that are sticky, that have that replay value to me, I'm sitting here and I'm like, and musically, it's cool. It's cool. And I'm still divided on how I feel about his new voice. Like, that was a drastic shift vocally. I played track 1 and I thought it was somebody else rapping. I was like, who is this feature? This is interesting. Yeah, and then I realized that's his fucking voice.
I think it's just him taking the strain away from his voice, basically.
Which is
this is how
fine.
he always talked. It's just he's
not. No, now he sounds more like he's talking, not rapping, for sure. But that being said, I shout out Lil A. Lil A and I were talking about this, and she was like, she's a big Baby Keem fan. And she's like, I fucking hate this album. This album fucking sucks. And I'm like, and she's a massive Baby Keem fan, my friend Lil A. And she was like just hating on the album all the way through. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to understand, like, this is like, look, what he's doing is a chapter marker. Like, right or wrong, This is a chapter marker in his career. And what I think I took away from this album is that Baby Keem is never going to give us the same album. He's not going to give us a melodic blue. And I don't think that's a perfect album, but the things I liked about that album, I really liked. I don't know if I have those same takeaways from this album. So to me, this is an album that's cool. I appreciated the deep cuts. I appreciated the overall like concise nature that the album was built in, but when you look at it, these songs they don't have the sticky songs. They don't have the they don't have the records, because I like the record with Too Short. I like the Dramatic Girls record. I like all the girl records on this, Birds and the Bees. But I'm not going to be playing that shit all fucking year long. I'm not. And that's your playlist.
I disagree wholeheartedly with first off, because I know I've been championing the album before this coming in, but I don't want to hear a rapper that's uninspired give me music. To me, the last couple,
that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying that Baby Keem has to give me something that he doesn't feel. Baby Keem gave me what he felt. But just like an artist has a right to release their music, a fan has a right to critique that artist.
Yeah, no, I think you're perfectly fine to critique it. I don't, and I disagree with the critique of it from a personal side. But I also, and I know Birdie's gonna hate me for bringing up Drake here, but again, Drake's last couple albums, he didn't sound inspired, and that's the biggest issue with me. I didn't find tracks that sounded inspired. It sounded like he was just, and he said in the concert, I'm never gonna leave you a summer without some slaps. Like, I don't know, stop. I don't need you to do things all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with my favorite artist, and I hate it. This is the economy. I hate it because I'm like, yeah, I want more. I want it right now. I want what I want right now. But you can't always get that. That's not how life is. And I prefer, when I wait around and hear something, this to me was the next evolution of Baby Keem. I think Baby Keem is taking the step into a different type of artist. He knows that he can go in his bag and give you a do-rag activity or give you an orange soda at any point. Again, I didn't know that Baby Keem could deliver this, honestly.
I didn't either. But again, my problem isn't that I said the statement that he needed to do this at some point, and that's fine. Coming off of 5 years of a gap, this album feel different to you if it was 2 years or 1 year or 30 days? Yes, and I think this album would feel a lot different if also in the next 2 years and a half he drops another album that's different. I'm looking at this album from the perspective of not only what it is, but what he was, where he got here, and as somebody that's championed Baby Keem for the last 5 years, and yes, he's had some great features. Yes, he's had some great moments, and I like what Birdie said about him kind of breaking that shackle of being a feature artist. Again, this album wasn't worth that weight. This is a cool album. If this was an artist that I didn't know that popped out, I would be like, okay, this is interesting. This has some things here. Let's see where this goes. And where I'm at with Baby Keem is let's see where this goes. But this didn't go the expectation that I had for it. It just didn't, man. It's flat. It's flat of that.
We got to agree to disagree on here because you can't tell me if we release this album, if he had just released last year and then he releases this, your opinion of it's going to change. I'm judging this straight off the music. For one thing, COVID is a whole different time frame when you talk about music. It's hard for me to piece together. Like we talked about this before.
He dropped it in 2021. He dropped it a year and a half after fucking COVID.
COVID was still a thing during that time, and you know
it was.
That whole 3-year period between 2020 and like 2022, 2023 blends together.
I'm not gonna semantic this, but I'll give you 2 years of COVID. I'll give you 2 years. By mid 2022, shit was getting close to regular. We were back outside. That's less than a year after Baby Keem dropped this album. So for me, I'm not giving him the COVID. I'm not giving him the COVID excuse like that. But also at the same time, I also said, again, I'm not being overly critical of this album, because what I did say is that what Keem showed me with this album is that he is going to give you a different body of work every time, and I appreciate an artist that does that. I appreciate an artist that sonically, vocally, production-wise, just different albums every single time. That's what Baby Keem gave me.
I like this more than the Melodic Blue. This is a more cohesive, put-together project than the Melodic Blue was. Melodic Blue had its highs, of course, but it had its lows, and it sometimes would grind that album as a full-body listen to a halt. The only song off this album I really did not care for, and I understand the concept behind it, was the last song. To me, it was a bad outro. It was the perspective of the album. He was originally going to name the album after his mom. It's the one where he's going deep into the storytelling. It shows his great storytelling and everything. Just as a beat and as a song, it doesn't do anything for me.
That's a highlight for sure.
And I don't think it's a great outro. It's a song that, if all of any of the songs I'm never going to revisit, it's probably that one. But I think that the album does have replayability. I think the album is going to finish in some of these top 10, top 5 end of the year lists. I think this was a very solid project. It was cohesive. This is what I wanted from Baby Keem. I wanted to see the growth. I wanted to see where you are mentally. I wanted to have you give me some stories. I think that now I agree with you guys on this. I could get tired of Baby Keem after so much listening to him on his earlier stuff. I was like, damn, you need a feature. You need someone to come break this up. He shows he can carry an album, and he can give you, and on that, the freestyle track, he gave you like 4 or 5 different flows on that track alone. It shows versatility. It shows growth. This is what I wanted to see from Baby Keem. I'm very happy with this album. Am I going to say this is the album of the year? Of course not. But I do think that this is a solid A- album if we're doing the grading scheme, which I don't know how many great albums from start to finish I've really heard from a lot of artists recently, because they're either too bloated, because the highs and lows. Again, I think J. Cole gave us a great project, but did J. Cole have some fluff on there too? Hell yeah. It's hard to get through J. Cole. You can't listen to it from start to finish. I was able to listen to this album start to finish twice, 3 times today. It's been a long time since on day one I've had that engagement, desire, and ability to do that with an album, especially with me having to work my job and do everything else. I just like to have that time to do that and feel confident in doing that and wanting to do it. It's been a while since I've been able to do that day of release.
I think this Baby Keem album has less standout tracks than the J. Cole double album. I think that this Baby Keem album is a solid album, but I also think that if you're drafting Baby Keem songs, I don't think you're drafting any songs off this album in the top 5 of Baby Keem. In the top 10 of Baby Keem. I disagree. Maybe the top 10. Maybe you grab one song. But that's why I can't even come close to putting this over Melodic Blue.
No, because Melodic Blue, when I listen to an album and talk about its full body of work, I want to give it what I call the vinyl test. When I'm playing the vinyl, do I feel any strong desire to pick up the needle and skip any songs? Melodic Blue, yes. This one, no.
Because this one is so fucking short. Like even if you don't care about the song you got gutted out for another 2 minutes and you're fine. You're on to the next song. Like, I get what you're saying, and I generally feel that way when it comes to like, there are times when I have an album that the way you feel about this album is the way I feel about that album. But when it comes to this album, just like, no, like, I'm looking at it from a pure factual standpoint. Like, if I'm having to draft the Baby Keem songs, I'm not drafting a single song on this album for at least 5 songs, if not 7, 8, 9, 10 songs deep. I'm 10 songs deep before I get a song off this album that I'm like, that is a Baby Keem song that I want. That is a Baby Keem song that I need.
I think it only had 11.
No, he's
saying, I'm talking about like his career,
okay. I'm just like,
which is only like 3 projects. Again, like, it's not like he has this vast project. It's not like this is his 12th project, and on his 12th project he has no songs.
I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one, bro.
Yeah, we are, but I don't know. I
like Birds and the Bees.
Birds and the Bees is cool.
It's a
Again,
good one.
That's a huge replay value song for me.
I like the songs that I like, but I'll tell you what, I listen to this album multiple times a day, but when I got in the car, when I got through all of the listens that I felt I needed to have for this album, when I got through all of the required listens that I felt to give, because I gave this album a second, a third chance, because I'm like, this album is so different. I know it's going to be polarizing because of a different voice. Everything that Baby Keem is doing, the approach, everything is different than what he did the last album. So I know that this is going to be controversial, polarizing. I have to give it more chances. I got in the car, and at that point in the day, at that point in my day when I'm transitioning jobs, when I can, when I'm free to just have the aux and do what I want, I did not play this fucking album. Not a fucking song. And I do like songs on this album. Again, I'm not totally hating on this album. Like, if you guys are going by the letter grades, like, it's a C to me. Like, it's cool. It's not bad. It's not bad. But when you contextualize that C with the 5 years, with the fact that if I'm drafting songs, if I'm having a Baby Keem draft, and this album doesn't have fucking anything.
The fucking 5 years portion, because Goldling dropped one of my all-time favorite artists. Goldling dropped an album last year, and as much as I love his music, I listened to the album and said, "Damn, I wish you would have waited another year or two and had some more to say." I'm full, and it's just a difference between us, but I'm fully in the camp of, if you don't have something to say or something to show me different, then don't drop. I'd rather wait and have you come back 3, 5, 7 years later than you not. I'd rather wait for another Jay-Z album than Jay-Z come out and put some bullshit out right now. That's me.
I would too. I'm not saying to put some bullshit out.
And I'm saying
I'm not saying
you can't always just force yourself to make music. Like, if he's uninspired, great. Don't say anything.
That's fine. That's fine. But when you do release, when you do finally feel inspired to drop, I'm going to judge that music that's dropped, that's released. That is my right as a fan. It is your right as an artist to release when you want, to do what you want. It is my right as a fan to, or a media analyst or whatever you want to put me as.
We talked about that, but my whole thing is then I'm not judging based off weight. Like, I'm judging the project as is, in its bubble by itself.
And as is, it's cool. As is cool. Don't get lost in the fact in the 5 year point. Like, that's not why I'm ranking the album where I'm ranking.
Saying, like, you keep bringing it up. That's a non-starter to me. That's like that's like saying he released it on a Friday. I'm like, okay.
It's just a statement. Don't get it twisted. The album is still mid. However the fuck you want to slice it.
It's hard for me to believe that you don't use that as a factor when you said it about a bunch of times throughout the argument.
It's like if it wasn't a factor, like, if you didn't really care about it being like 5 years later, then it's like, I don't know. I just feel like you want to say it as many times, even though I was in the bathroom half of the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I will say this too, though.
Charlie Brown, through the walls
At one point, you really did say, you said if this would have been somebody else, or if it wouldn't have taken 5 years, you would view this album differently. You are putting weight on the fact that it took them 5 years to drop. Like, that is the one thing. Like, the project is what it is. It didn't matter if it took 7 years, 5 years, or 3 years. If this project would have came out 2 years ago, you might not give it a C. Part of it is the anticipation of the album is not as good as you were hoping it would be because of the fact that you waited so long for the anticipation. And that's okay, but the project itself, I think the project itself it's not mid to me. I mean, I think he did what he wanted to accomplish. He grew, and that's what he became. If it took him 5 years to drop it, it just took him 5 years to come up with something to say, and that's just what it is.
I'm just speaking from a realistic perspective, and again, this is the last thing I'll say, because I don't want to keep just saying the same thing, but you're right. Let me clarify that the 5 year point is generally separate of how I feel from this album. It is generally separate of how I feel from the album. I think that is something to notice, but I don't think that is something that should determine the quality. Like, to me, this album, I rank every album I ever listened to. This album to me is like a 5 out of 10.
This album was mid to you no
Yeah.
matter what.
No matter what, but I will take it that extra step further and say that and say that there are certain artists, like, we're not going to sit here and act like there's not a luxury that some artists are provided that others aren't, that there aren't these like favorable things, like when it comes to sports, like, oh, this person gets calls but this person doesn't, this person gets the benefit of doubt, this person doesn't. That's all I was saying when it comes to the 5-year thing, is that again, not to make this about Kendrick, but just using Kendrick in the 5-year example of his drought. We had 3 classics to go back to. Baby Keem, we don't have that. Like I say the 5-year thing to say that if I'm advising Baby Keem, I don't think that I think that with that 5-year wait and with this drastic change, I don't think he walks away from this gaining any new fans.
I'm in the room right now,
adding real momentum.
And that's fair. I think it'll be interesting to talk about at the end of the year.
and we'll see. Maybe that will prove to be wrong, because right now I can't even picture the song that right now, if I'm a Baby Keem fan, which I am, I can't picture the song on this album that I gotta go see live. That I didn't see. Say I saw Baby Keem 4 years ago, which I didn't, and I'm upset because that was a part of history. That fucking St. Andrews Hall floor crack is still like iconic. So shout out to Baby Keem for that. But
And shout
I
out to
can't.
St. Andrews Hall's carpet.
Yeah, and shout out to St. Andrews Hall. But
And
I can't.
shout out the shelter that almost got crushed underneath it.
Yeah. But I can't look at this album and be like, man, I can't wait to hear this song. Because if I go to a Baby Keem concert, I'm going to have fun because Baby Keem has a lot of good music. But I'm going to enjoy the same songs that I enjoyed 4 or 5 years ago.
So May 26th.
I'm not going.
All right.
I'm not going. Like I don't have a song on here that makes me go, "Oh, now I got to go see Baby Keem." Now, if he's doing something different with the stage design and he's stepping, like whatever, again, he's not at the arena status yet, so
He's at the
I don't think, so I don't think that that's coming. But musically, like, what's the song that you're like, I got to see this live? Because there's songs I like, you and I both like, but there's not a song where I'm like, I got to see this live. I can't wait to see this live. If I'm going to see Baby Keem, I'm going to see the records I saw 4 or 5 years ago.
I think you and I are a little different on concerts, though, in general. So, I mean, I'm going to see an artist. I'm going to see an artist. I would be down to go see this because I actually really did enjoy the project. I'd like to see what he does with it live. I personally want to go see it like that. A lot of times I don't like going to concerts anyway because I'm like, well, damn, I like the album version of a song. In the concert, I don't want to see you turn off and turn the mic to me or to other people when you're singing or not sing the lyrics. I mean, again, one of my favorite albums last year was Pusha T and Malice Clips, but they didn't even play my favorite songs off one of my favorite songs off the album, which is fine because it was still a dope ass concert.
That's different. I mean, Clips is legendary, and they have that.
But I wasn't going to see any one specific song. I was going to see them in concert. When we went to Kendrick, I went to see the Cold show. I didn't necessarily go just to do the mustard or anything like that. That was fun. I knew it was going to be part of it, and I was excited for it. But that wasn't the reason why I went. I went for the whole experience. I don't go to concerts for one specific song because it's never going to be the song I first heard that I fell in love with. I go for the vibe of the entire show.
Okay. Any closing thoughts on Baby Keem? Anybody got anything to add when it comes to Baby Keem? Where you think he's at projection-wise, what this does for him? Does this change the world for him or no?
It'll be interesting to see how it sits, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how the concert goes and what happens with that. Also, I think that we can finally say Doechii is not Baby Keem because his voice has dropped so much that you cannot confuse him and Doechii.
just
Yeah, that's a
confuse them
valid
with
point.
everyone else.
When she said, "I'm Baby Keem," no, she is not.
Yeah, I mean, we got Future, we got Drake, we got Kanye, we got Uzi, we got everybody around the corner. Is everybody just clearing way for Doechii? Like, what the fuck is going on? Why the fuck is everybody dropping right now, and then we got like 8 months left in the year?
Because I think we're about to have a full packed year of music. I think with everything.
I think it's everybody wants to tour.
Everyone wants to tour. We're finally seeing I think people are inspired again seeing some of these other tours. I think like the Grand National Tour, the Chromacopia Tour, these types
You
of
hear that? You hear that? You hear that? You hear that? That's inspiration right there.
I think it created for a lot of people like to try to get more into the concert aspect. I think people want to tour, and it's been kind of a lull. It's I do think that people want to put music out. We're gonna see some new music by Drake. That's gonna be a huge drop. We're gonna see Doechii's debut studio album. That's gonna be a huge drop. We got rumors of all these other artists, who's like all these other people who are really ready to put out. I think this is we can say that last year's drops were kind of like they were high, the highs were high, but we didn't get a lot of them. I think we're in a position where we're gonna have a statement album or two every month for the rest of the year, and we got Bruno Mars coming up, who's gonna have a
Next week.
back-to-back sold out like stadium tour.
Had to add an extra day, man. It's crazy.
Expensive ass tickets.
He already got his tickets on sale. Damn. I
No,
missed
they've
that.
been on sale. They've been on sale since January.
Oof. Oof. No, but I got the Coles for the fucking low. I got the Coles for the low. I was not mad at that spring. Cole charges tickets like he don't got to pay for gas. His ticket price is like as long as I can pay for the lock on my bike, I'm good.
Well, I mean, he is out here driving to listen to the album. He will pick you up and give the concert in his car if need be.
Shut up.
You pay $20 on gas. You put some snaps on the petrol. He'll pick you up and do the concert live for you.
Shut up.
Man, he's still in debt. he owe that casino in Vegas, bro.
Bruno stole that casino, and also cocaine ain't cheap. So Bruno got expensive habits.
He owed the casino. I think he was in debt $50 million.
I thought it was 150 million or something like that.
It was,
God. We're just throwing around numbers. I heard 700 million.
Nah,
I heard $1 billion.
He got to buy the whole Dallas Cowboys.
Well, he's gonna have a residency for a very long time. He gonna be old as a Motown dude.
They about to Frankie Valley his ass. He gonna be up there fucking a zombie, bro. 90 years old.
He is gonna
talk about I can't.
He gonna be the Temptations. You know I want to leave you.
Oh, but he will. He'll want to leave by that point.
Yes. We got new music.
We got no other new music. Shout out to Kendrick's
They're
cousin.
still just shoveling cocaine up his nose. Like, come on, you got this.
Bruno Mars next week. Again, we got a lot coming, man.
Excited.
We got a lot coming. We got a lot of music coming, man. I think that again, like pop, hip hop, R&B, like this is gonna be that fucking year where like everybody comes out to play. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen, man. Like I really think, again, if all this is happening now, sure, this is prime real estate because this allows you to tour for the year and all that, but that also leaves a lot of the year that if shit ain't dropping, like you got plenty of time to have the real estate to drop and be the talk of the town, the belle of the ball.
Yeah.
For quite some time. So, hey, Jay-Z, come out. Like, I'm talking, like, everybody. Like, I want this to be a legendary. Let's make 2026 one of the best hip-hop years. 2018, to me, is my personal favorite hip-hop year of the last decade. I do like 2016 as well, but 2018 would be my year. I thought that was, like, just an elite hip-hop year. I want 2026 to be better. Right now, I mean, we already got Rocky. We already got Cole. Again, we got Drake, Future, Uzi. A whole bunch of people coming, man. I think this might be one of them years, man.
Because everybody keeps saying that hip hop's dying.
Everybody wants to pop out.
Like,
If it ain't dead, it just moved to the web.
Shout out. That will do it for this episode of the Rap K Podcast. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm Chris Platte, a.k.a. Platte Pods with a few dope people. I got Bryce flying in from somewhere nice. I got Zay.
We don't got sound effects for him.
Yeah, no, bro, I'm pretty boring.
Motherfucker had the simple. We got Braided Birdie. Cowboy Brian, CB.
With his yeehaw.
Yes, sir.
And then Scranton, what? The Electric City. Big AP on the ones and twos. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on Baby Keem's new album, on CyHi's tweets, on LaRussell's tweets. Show me your tweets. In the next episode, I'm Chris Platte, a.k.a. Platte Pods. We will talk next time. Peace.